Hello everybody, it's Daniel speaking in English Teacher. Today we're having another episode of Emotional English Podcast, where we learn an English language effortlessly, emotionally, filled with energy, and positively. I'm so sorry that I'm making this podcast so late. I delayed it for a while. So sorry about that. Today we have another episode related to the topic of quotes. Quotes from the different successful people. And today I will show you the quote from Marilyn Monroe. Are you familiar? Who is it? Okay, I will explain you this episode. My first thing, or the idea of this podcast, if you're the newbie or if you're a newcomer, this podcast is made for people who want to study English language effortlessly without pushing the grammar, without caring about grammar, or without just overthinking, right? You just listen to the podcast, learn new words, and getting more proficient, okay? So let's read this mini quote from Marilyn Monroe, and then we will discuss all the words which are there, and let's get some, proficiency out there, okay? The first, I want to show you who is the Marilyn Monroe. Maybe some of you guys some of you doesn't understand who is it, okay? And Marilyn Monroe, she is an American actress who became a major sex symbol in America. So she's starting in a number of commercially successful films during the 1950s in America again. So she was very, very successful. Right? Super successful. She was an icon in America in the 50s, right? So she's a very nice lady. So what she said, what did she say to us? She said, "I'm selfish, impatient, and a little insecure. I make mistakes. I'm out of control and at times hard to handle. But if you can handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best." So this is her quote. I think this is definitely a cool one. First of all, we have a lot of interesting vocabulary here, and this one is pretty emotional, right? Pretty emotional quote. We have great words like sure as hell, which are not very official, right? They're not in the public area. These words are not so good for the classic business English. It's better to use more official language there. But here we're learning all different styles of speaking, right? And we can use this one as well. Okay, let's go deeper and let's face step by step what we got here. First of all, she said, "I'm selfish, impatient, and a little insecure," right? A little insecure. What does it mean? What does it mean all? Let's discuss. Selfish. Who is selfish? Selfish people, they are kinda concerned about personal profits, right? Or their pleasure. They care a lot about themselves, right? Selfish people. These people have a big ego. You know what is ego, right? It's like a big thing inside of your psyche, which you use to take care of yourself a lot, okay? When you have a big ego and you care a lot about yourself, you're a selfish person. So she said, "I'm selfish," right? So who is selfish? Marilyn Monroe is selfish. Next word which she used is impatient. So what does it mean, impatient? I'm impatient. It means that Marilyn Monroe is impatient. She's having or showing the tendency to be quickly irritated or provoked, right? So what is the patient means, right? Patient means that you can wait for a long time and you are pretty okay with annoying sounds around. You can sit and you will not say a word about it. But when you're impatient, oh my God, you're stressed about every extra sound which show up around you, right? And you don't like it. You don't like it. So who is impatient in this quote? Marilyn Monroe, because she said, I'm selfish. I am impatient, right? Means she can't control herself. She can't wait for a while. And she's a little bit stressful probably, right? She's easy to be provoking, right? Not so good. And next thing, a little insecure, right? This is a good word, insecure. Official dictionaries say that insecure person, uncertain of or anxious about oneself, not confident. So let's say this. It's a synonym for the word not confident, right? Inconfident, insecure, so not brave at all. Maybe shy person, right? So young people, they are insecure. Why? They have a lack of confidence, right? So they are insecure. So Marilyn Monroe she said, right? She said, I'm selfish, I'm impatient, and I'm a little insecure, right? A little. It means not much, right? She has enough confidence. She's just a little bit shy, a little bit insecure, a little bit anxious about something, right? So she's saying next, I make mistakes. I'm out of control and at times hard to handle, right? So who make mistakes? Vladimir Putin? Yes, Vladimir Putin, making mistakes. It's fine. But in this quote, Marilyn Monroe made some mistakes, right? In her life, she made a lot of mistakes. Everybody of us make mistakes. And me as a teacher too, right? I'm a pretty good speaking, right? I'm a pretty good speaking teacher, but not a great grammar teacher. I practice my grammar not very often, and sometimes I do grammar mistakes. In my opinion, grammar mistakes are not that big as you think. So when you learn the language, you have to be concentrated on speaking and listening, but not grammar, right? So I make a lot of grammar mistakes. And you can hear some of these mistakes in my podcast too. And it's completely fine. Don't be scared of it. You can listen more native speakers and you will see that sometimes they do these mistakes too. It's not a big deal, okay? So it's my opinion, right? I'm not pushing you so hard in this case. So I make mistakes, Marilyn Monroe said, right? I am out of control. So when you're out of control, is it good or bad, right? So is it easy to manage something when you're out of control? No. When you're out of control, it means that you can do something stupid because you're out of control. You can't control yourself, right? Or your actions. So, and Marilyn said, I'm out of control and at times hard to handle. At times hard to handle. It means that in the different periods of life, it's very hard to handle herself, right? It means she can't control herself. So she's out of control. In this meaning, it's hard to handle herself, her actions and everything. So she's kind of hard to handle, right? It means a manipulation, right? When you handling something, you're making something, right? Let's say, let me handle this work, right? Let me manipulate, let me do an action to finish something, right? So it means to handle, right? It's the meaning of the word handle. But she's saying next, but if you can't handle me, so if you can't control her, right? Or acknowledge her, accept her, and she's saying it, if you can't handle me at my worst, right? It means that she has bad behavior. She had bad behavior, and people they couldn't control her, right? In a good way. And then She's saying that if you can't handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best. So the gentleman or the guy who can't control the nice lady, so sure as hell don't deserve the lady. Sure as hell means 100%, right? Sure as hell, you can use this phrase when you are 100% sure about something and you say, sure as hell, right? Sure as hell. At my worst, it means at my worst, time, right? At my worst experiences, whatever. At my worst actions, right? When the man can't handle Marilyn. Actually, it's already happened in the past, right? They couldn't handle her at her worst. Then they sure as hell didn't deserve her at her best at all. Okay, that's the main quote, right? Is it a good quote or it's a bad quote? It's up to you guys, right? Now let's read it one more time with full understanding, which we just faced here. Okay, she said, "I'm selfish, impatient, and a little insecure. I make mistakes. I'm out of control, and at times hard to handle. But if you can't handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best." Okay? So she's kind of egocentric, right? Egocentric, right? She's kind of saying that she's not that easy to handle, and if you can't handle her, so you don't deserve her, okay, at her best. Pretty interesting. So Marilyn, she was a very nice lady. Like I said, she was like the sexiest girl ever in 50s, right? But she was not so skinny, by the way. She was not so skinny at all right? So we got that. So this is the quote from Marilyn Monroe. And now I will just announce some more facts about things, and maybe you'll love it as well. The next thing, what I'd love to say to you is, don't be selfish, right? Don't be selfish. Be generous, right? Be generous. Be open-minded person, right? It's very important to be open-minded person, because people who speak with you, they want to see your feedbacks. They want to see your respect and your confidence and your honesty, right? When you do have these qualities, you're absolutely nice. People will like you. But when you kind of selfish, when you egocentric, it means that you're not so desirable to speak with, right? I don't want to speak with people who are kind of selfish, right? I want to speak with open-minded people, generous people, kind people, right? And when you're impatient, right? When you're impatient, try to control yourself, right? Try to be more patient, right? Let's use the opposite. So try to practice this skill, right? Be patient, right? Be patient. And when you're a little insecure, okay, so just be confident about things. Train your confidence, right? If you're a little insecure in public speaking, okay, it's fine. Try to practice more, right? When you say something to your colleagues in the office, just say it more confidently, right? And you will be less insecure. It's much better. Much better. So don't care about mistakes. It's completely fine. People make mistakes with English, with life, with love, with everything, with money, of course. So don't be out of control, right? It's completely fine to be a little bit stressed out, but try to control yourself every single time, in every single situations, right? It's important, right? So try to handle yourself without any problem. It's important. And if you sure as hell that you are a person who can handle whatever you want, then my congratulations. You have a great responsibility and great power inside of yourself. So keep it up. Some people say, cowboy up, be energized with your language, and go next. Face new challenges, face new, horizons, right? With your language, and be positive. Be absolutely positive. It was Daniel today with you. And thank you for this little conversation, for this small talk. I hope you guys will have a great opportunity to study language with people around the world. If you're interested to speak and to have the conversational lesson with me, go to my website, www.danilabondarenko.ru, or go to my Instagram. On my Instagram, you will find a lot of short videos about English language, and you will have more joy to study it, right? Have a great time. Enjoy the rest of your day, and peace. Have a nice time.